So are you a hard on your sleeve artist? Are you afraid, are you out there and you're willing to access more fragile parts of the process?
That's a good question.
I just made that up. It's not what you're...
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah.
But how did you feel seeing those painters? This show's all over the road, by the way, from things that are quite representational, almost cartoony, Nicole Eisenman, to you know, a kind of slick pattern and almost pattern decoration thing of Oscar Murillo, who's the, you know, maybe the victim of all the art flipping that's happened. You hear about. How did you feel looking at that work?
It was tough because I had just come from the Matisse cutout show, which was a whole other conversation, into that room, which it wasn't like, the Matisse show was just jam-packed full of people, tons of people, and then there was, I felt like no one in that show compared. It's like right next door to the gallery. So it was sort of, felt just very like jolted. But I spent you know, a pretty good amount of time there. I did a few passes and was able to, you know, with more time, obviously pick up on the, you know, without reading any literature or anything, kind of pick up a few things that were happening. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it's pretty good show. So it is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Those little canvases there.
Yeah.
I mean, those are back in the Tornado series. You did those at the end. Those small canvases. These as well.
Right. Yeah. So at the end, I did a quick series of those little small paintings, kind of like right before the show went up, and typically it's just a way to sort of detox a little bit after, you know, being in the studio preparing for a show, just to quickly try to get out as many of the things I had been working on, these more, you know, labor-intensive, bigger paintings. So they ended up being pretty quick little paintings, and a way to sort of almost regurgitate some of the things quickly and more loosely in rapid succession.
It seemed almost sculptural in comparison, if comparatively a lot of impasto compared to the other works that sort of built up. Is that playing your thinking? Are they more sculptural or plastic than the painting, the bigger paintings?
I don't think of them that way. I mean, they're painted. I'd say they're painted in the exact same way these other ones are. It's just like, you know, I'm holding them in my hand when I'm painting. So it's a little like it's a little bit different experience. And maybe it's kind of tapping into something more sculptural. Yeah. Yes, something about them is they've been able to be looser with bigger ones. I don't know.
Do these paintings have a place on the world? Are they American works? I mean, at first.
Yeah, I'd say so. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was, you know, one of the things we talked about was Americana. I'm not sure there are, you know, glaring signs of our nation in these works, but what makes them, where are they located for you on the globe?
I think for a long time I really was try to make them really just sort of generic places, like, you know, the waiting room kind of spaces. But with this one particularly, I think it's more trying to tap into, you know, my roots, where I come from, which is, you know, basically here, from the Beaumont area. More and more I feel sort of attracted to exploring those places I sort of would reject in the past. Like, everyone goes through that thing where they, don't, sort of ashamed of where they come from a little bit. I think I definitely had that, but more and more I come to realize it is, something to embrace and explore. And so I'm looking forward to moving forward, getting out more and maybe doing some more direct observational kind of painting studies. So I think that just looking really quickly, I think that most of these I'd say would be like non places, but this one would be, I think it's a Texas painting to me, Gulf Coast painting.
Yeah. I was going to say Houston Yacht Club has that exact view, if anybody's ever been there.
Yeah.
In Kima, there's a...
Right.
I think I've sat there.
Whitney, my wife, and I would spend a lot of time with her family. They have on the other side of Galveston Bay, they have a little spot on the bay that it's imagine very similar to Kima or even Galveston. So we spend a lot of time down the coast, down by the water, with palm trees, maybe a little more native than they are in Houston.
The first place I ever was in Texas was Kima. I remember seeing that lawn, and the sun was out, it was April, and it had been freezing in the north. I came down there, I got on my back on the lawn, and I was immediately attacked by fire ants. And, I didn't know what a fire ant was, so I was like, why am I...
Ouch.
Yeah, that it's there, but you can't quite access it the way
Yeah.
fantasy wants you to.
Right. It goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, just if you had done, waited a few months later, it would just been way too hot.
Yes. Yeah.
Twice, fire ants in the sun.
Yes.
Well, do you guys have any questions? Yes.
Can you talk about sports in your work?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like other work that I've seen of yours in the past has also incorporated this sort of, basketball net. Here you have a tennis court or tennis balls.
Initially, I have a background in sports. I think that when they first started coming into play, like here, this one, there's some other basketballs and baseballs appear a lot. I think that it's sort of, for me, a little bit of like a ready-made signifier painting, like everyone sort of knows what that is and has some sort of quick memory attachment or emotional attachment to that object. And so I think that's where they sort of, I was looking for a lot of objects like fish tank. Fish tank is one of those things for me, and also palm trees. Again, sort of going, trying to keep moving ahead. The soccer field one is just a photograph I had, but there is that his personal history also involved, and trying to be more specific about. I think, like I said in the past, I would just prefer to not bring that into play. Like I really just wanted to focus on being able to paint better or make a good painting, and so I sort of have shunned that for a while. But now I'm wanting to appreciate and sort of maybe I can explore this. I'm allowing myself to explore those things, my personal connections to sports. Hope that answers your question.
Anyone else?
I guess I keep thinking of that little yellow brick wall, which is like the opposite of the promise of Oz. Instead of the yellow brick road leading you someplace, it again is one of those do not enter. What is this about no entry?
I think without maybe getting too like psychological.
Go for it.
No, I mean it's not something it's not like my intention when I made that painting is to make something that's like a hyper psychological space. It's more like a formal choice. More than anything else.
I'm casting you a very psychological space.
Yeah.
Because on the inside looking out,
Yeah, it's really fraught though, I mean, obviously. I haven't, you know, that you can make a pain to control that a bit more, but it's sort of, again, like, I don't want to like dive off the cliff just yet. Anyone else? Feel good about it?
I think I covered my points. I must say that I can't figure this out. I can't put I can't nail these things to the wall, makes me love them even more. I'm really still shifting and I'm seeing new things. That's a lot of the appeal for me. So if we could answer all the questions, it wouldn't work. So.
Right. Good.
You already did your work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you, guys.